Our next performer is from Greensboro, North Carolina, and studied psychology and neuroscience with minors in creative writing, medicine, literature, and culture at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He pursues greater understanding of mental illness among Asian Americans and among queer identifying folks. He himself identifies as living at the intersection of both. Along with grappling with how to finish all of the literature in the world that he wants to, he strives to cook Korean food as well as his halmoni did. Please welcome the winner of our Roar Story Slam narrative category, David Choi.
Hello. This piece is called Learning How to Say I Love You. Hey, sorry. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask you, do you speak Korean American? Yes, I do. Wow, well, I was wondering if you could teach me how to say I love you? Whoa, that's a loaded question. Because you see, a common personal struggle for many Korean Americans is our relationship with our mother language. Your ability to speak Korean well is like a measure of your authenticity. How authentic are you? As if Korean Americans are some trendy new dish like bulgogi nachos or kimchi quesadillas. But I know that I crave those words. 한국말 잘하네. Your Korean's not bad. But it wasn't always like this, you see. When I was little, my 외할머니 would watch me at home in our apartment in Michigan. And in the winter, when the snow was up to my shoulders, she would make me warm, sweet red bean porridge. And in the summer, we'd wake up early together and make popsicles out of orange juice, ice cube trays, and toothpicks. But back then, these things were called 단팥죽 and 오렌지 주스 아이스크림. Because I only knew Korean, my first language. Then, when I started pre-K in a mostly white town, I learned to be ashamed of my Korean. I can't remember exactly what I learned on that first day of school, but according to my mom, I came announcing, "No Korean, I'm English. Don't speak Korean to me." But sure enough, I soon forgot almost all of my Korean. Only understanding some of what my parents said, I responded in English. When I got calls from my grandparents or family back in Korea, the conversations usually went like this. 여보세요? 네? 네. 네. 아빠, pick up the phone. I realized that I learned most of my Korean American from conversations with my mom. Conversations that usually centered on food. When I was young and I still had my face glued to video games, it would always be, "David, 빨리 밥 먹어! Hurry up and come eat!" Now, when I was older, I would often forego dinner and stay in my room studying for the SAT and preparing for college admissions. Later in the night, my mom would come upstairs carrying a tray with a bowl of purple mixed grain rice, reheated radish soup, dried seaweed, and some kimchi. And then she'd say, 공부 다 했어? 그래, 밥은 먹으면서 해. Have you finished studying? At least eat some while you work. Now, as a college student living far away from home, I still get calls from my mom. Hesitantly, she'll ask me, 밥은 먹었니? Have you eaten? I don't tell her that I'm skipping meals left and right. I don't tell her that I'm surviving off of McDonald's and ramyeon. I don't tell her that I miss the smell of her pouring earthy sesame oil onto a sizzling hot frying pan full of spicy kimchi fried rice with extra spam and sausage, just how I like it. It wasn't until recently that I realized that all these words, 빨리 밥 먹어, 밥은 먹으면서 해, 밥은 먹었니? Hurry up and eat, at least eat some. Have you eaten? They all actually mean the same thing. I love you, I love you, I love you. But my Korean American is far from perfect, and we as Korean Americans haven't yet learned how to talk about certain things. For instance, mental illness. I know too many Korean Americans who have died by suicide, too many friends and friends of friends living with anxiety and depression, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Despite the great depth and complexity at the heart of Korean American mental health, we have incredibly simple words to use to talk about it. 쟤 아프잖아. They're hurting. 그분 돌아가셨어. They passed away. David, 그냥 그분 위해 기도해. Just pray for them. I had to learn the word 자살, suicide, from a Korean drama with English subtitles. I have yet to learn the Korean American words for cognitive behavioral approaches, family therapy, fighting cultural stigma, recovery, or healing. But I hope we all do so soon. Another thing that we Korean Americans don't know how to talk about yet is homosexuality. In the conservative Christian Korean American community of North Carolina, we didn't even have the vocabulary to begin understanding queerness. Instead, I learned about what a lot of Korean Christian Korean Americans thought about queer people. It was the boys in youth group that said their favorite phrase, "Dude, that's so gay." It was the 전도사님 that loved the sinner but hated the sin. It was the 집사님 that didn't think that gays were natural, that they were ruining society. It was the 권사님 that were adamant that gay Koreans didn't exist. Homosexuality was a foreigner's disease. And perhaps most convincingly, with the most authority, it was the 목사님 that simply said they were all going to hell. Even outside of the Korean American church, many Korean American churches, Korean American people just had one word to say: 더러워, filthy. On my 20th birthday a couple years ago, I invited my parents to eat dinner near my college campus at a fancy Asian fusion restaurant. It was way too dark inside, dimly lit with paper lanterns and small candles, and everything was way overpriced. My mom kept saying that she could make everything at home for half the cost. But despite all of this, we splurged and we celebrated. After we finished up our crispy kimchi potatoes and reinvented bibimbap, my parents sat across from me, smiling, holding each other's hands, content. A part of me wanted to take that perfect moment and pray it would last forever. But a bigger part of me knew I couldn't go into the third decade of my life living a lie. Even though I didn't know enough Korean American to express everything that I wanted to say, I took a deep breath and said, I have something to tell you. I'm dropping out of the pre-med track. But I'm dropping out of the pre-med track because I can't handle the workload. And I can't handle the workload because I'm severely depressed. I might need to drop out of school. I'm severely depressed. And I'm severely depressed because 엄마, 아빠, I'm gay. My parents met the blows that I dealt them in the order that they could handle. The confidence in their voices dwindled as they progressed. Looking from side to side uncomfortably, they asked me in hushed tones, "What are you going to do with your life if you don't go to medical school?" And also, how do you know that you're depressed? But when they got to the fact of my queerness, all that they had to say, with a grim look on their face as they bit back their lip, was, "No comment." Slowly, as time has progressed and my understanding of my Korean American identity has grown, I'm becoming more and more fluent in Korean American. I now know that the words American dream don't translate to doctor or lawyer. I learned the meaning of the words Korean American dream from a popular Korean song called 양화대교. The lyrics go, 행복하자, 우리 행복하자, 아프지 말고, 아프지 말고. My parents too are slowly growing accustomed to their queer Korean American son with a bipolar disorder, and they too have added new words to their Korean American vocabulary, such as partner, partner. Queer. Queer. And 약 챙겨 먹었니? Have you taken your medication? Or literally translated, have you eaten your medication? I have come to learn that all these words too just mean the same thing. I love you. Thank you.